Well, I want to thank everybody for joining me this afternoon. I'm Leon Davis, and this is Altitude Adjustment. Your screen is not um fooling your eyes. I am having some difficulty with the camera today, so what you will not get is a picture of my charming face, but what you will get is an opportunity to listen to and learn about a really interesting gentleman that I've met is Alton Sanders, and we'll start that up right now.
All right.
Welcome to Altitude Adjustment. Alrighty, well, welcome, Mr. Sanders.
Welcome to me. I'm happy to be here.
Well, thank you very much. So I want to mention to everyone that um, you may not, you may have some difficulty hearing him. He's in Hawaii. I know that's going to bring about a little jealousy, but he's in Hawaii, and so the connection may not be as best that we like. But thank you for joining me this afternoon.
You're so welcome. Most definitely.
Okay, so I understand you have a business, and how long ago did you start your business?
I started my business back in California back in 1998.
1998.
And yes, now in California.
Okay, so let's go back and let's get a. I was looking on your webpage for your company, and you talk about your you have a BA in physical education.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay, and so, tell me a little bit more about your education.
I went to I went to Chico State back in 1979 with my major in exercise science and physical education. It was a new major back then. They're just starting you can become a teacher or you could be someone working in the health field, and just changed it over to exercise science. And I went for about 4 years. I didn't finish, but I went back later and went to UC Davis, and then also back to Chico State, where I went to and finished off my degree in 2000 after coming back from Germany.
Okay, so you were in the military.
Yes, I was in the Army.
Oh, okay.
I'm a Desert Storm veteran. I was in the military for 4 years. I was in Desert Storm. Um, did my 4 years and got out when the war was over. I got out and um, was in a marriage at the time in Germany. Lived in Germany for 6.5 years and wound up going through divorce and came back to the United States. And that's what actually that was in '94, and that's what kind of started my journey on what my business is all about, spiritual fitness.
Okay, so there was something else that caught my eye. You were a massage therapist at National Holistic
Yes,
Institute.
yes,
Okay,
the National Holistic Institute in Emeryville, California. I
and
started off as a massage therapist. I worked. That was my after I got out of the military. I came back to the United States. Um, I wanted to change careers, and like I was saying, I was a very what we call a Yang style, very hard style, military, gun ho and everything else.
mhm.
And after coming back to the United States and being very humbled, I got into the massage field. And
Okay,
after I was in the massage field, I'd say about 4 years, I wound up going into teaching massage. And I
okay,
started teaching at the school that I went to at NHI and a couple other massage schools too.
okay, and then let's see. You helped create the national test
Yes,
for.
I was on the national board, the NCTMB, um, for massage therapy,
Hmm.
and I worked on. I was one of the men who made one of the people who made up the national exam, and I also, after a few years, I went on to the another committee with the national board where people were trying to come into the profession and take the national exam who had some problems. They either had a felony or something bad happen to their life, and they tried, change their life, or maybe they did, and maybe they didn't. And we had to go through all their paperwork to give them the yay or nay if they're able to take that national exam or not.
Okay.
So yeah, I worked with the national board for probably about 12, 13 years, and had a great, really awesome time. Great board to be on when I was on it. Um, Traveled all over, back east, and also back in the west, and great group of people, and just enjoyed my time. Learned a lot about the massage field.
Okay. So um, let me play this video before I get into your actual techniques and what you teach. Give me a second. Let me get this started.
All right.
I thought the video was just absolutely, you probably won't be able to hear it, but it was absolutely fantastic. Beautiful scene, great sky, just beach. So tell me a little bit about it.
Well, what I do out here when I came to Hawaii, and my dream, my dream all my life
Okay, just a
was to
second.
come back to
Go ahead.
Hawaii.
I'm sorry, go
This
ahead.
is what I call my home.
Hmm.
Being a military brat, my dad was in the military. I was in the military. I've moved every 4 years of my life, and up and now I'm 56 years old, so you can see that I was quite a bit of moving. And I've always wanted to come back to Hawaii, and life took its toll, and I was moving all over the place, and things happened here and there. I never got to the place I wanted to be until 2 years ago, and the world, the universe just worked with me. I met a lady, and she wound up wanting to come to Hawaii also, and it all happened very quickly. Moved to Hawaii, um, set up my business, got it going. I've been working on my business in Hawaii now for over a year. Out in that scene that you see me on the beach, that's one of the things that I kind of, it's my giving back to the universe for so much that I've been given. And I do yoga out on the beach, and anybody can come. All they have to do is get in contact with me. I work with yoga out on the beach. We do little meditations, um, get them into what I call my spiritual fitness, and that is just going in within yourself and finding the best you. And I do that through meditation and through working out, whether it's yoga, um, it's bodybuilding, it could be swimming, it could be paddling, whatever it is, whatever you enjoy the most. That's what I want to bring out, get you working with first to get you into a more holistic life, or what I call the fitness lifestyle, spiritual fitness.
Okay, so some people when they think of spiritual, they think of religion, and you
Hmm.
see it differently.
Yeah, I sit down differently. I was raised very religious, Southern Baptist, um, and I have nothing, really nothing against religion. I just know that my path changed later on in my life. Spirituality brought me to an all-encompassing God, whatever you want to call it, God, Buddha, Muhammad, whatever name you want to give that huge presence in the universe. That right there completely changed my life. I saw a God as something not damning, not putting me down, and not something that I had to work toward. It was something that was within me, and it's within every single person. And that changed and evolved my life to where it's going right now. It's an amazing, amazing thing. And I feel that you can be in religion, you can be in anything, Catholic, Buddhist, whatever religion you're in, um, you can still be spiritual.
Okay, okay. So have you found people really receptive to your teachings?
Yes, nowadays, very much so. A lot. I see a lot, so many people um, kind of going through or gone through the same things that I have. Learning that it's an inner journey. It's something that I feel that all people have to go through and should go through. Finding out about themselves, how they tick, how they work, instead of being so external. And what I mean by that is, we grow up. And when we grow up, we're out pleasing everybody. It starts off with the parents. or whoever is raising you, or whatever environment you're without and this external pleasing thing. And we keep on doing this external pleasing, and we find out that when in the end, um, that person may not be happy, or that individual may not be welcoming to us. So I've really found, and I continue to do it now, that starting to please, not being selfish, more selfless, going within and finding out what makes me tick. Why do I enjoy life? What do I want out of life? What do I love in life? Who do I love? It's that inner journey instead of trying to look outside of myself and trying to please, being that people pleaser, you know. And
Hmm.
it's a habit that we all have. You know, at the beginning, we want to please mom, we want to please dad. I want to make the girlfriend, the wife. I want to make the clergy, whoever. I want to make them happy. But in the end run, we always come back. It always sends us back into ourselves. That's what I found myself doing. So I found out it made it so much easier when I could look at myself and find out how I ticked instead of going out with where I was taught, where I was learned. I was raised to be a thinker, you know, a problem solver, and it was always that external. And I found out that it's so much easier for me as an individual to look at me and work on me
Hmm.
than to look out at 1,000 other people, 1,000,000 other people, and trying to figure out how they tick. That was the confusion that I learned. And I found out that individual, me going within and finding out how I tick, made life so much easier. And it still does to this day. Not perfect or anything of that sort, you know. And
Hmm.
to me, there's no perfection. There's getting better. But I'm as perfect as I'm going to be today. And that inner journey is something that's constant. And yoga brought me big time. Yoga and massage, those two aspects of my life right now, both of them brought me to the myself. When I mean self with that capital S, it brought me to who I truly am. And I'm always striving to make it better and better and better every day. And the inner journey works.
Okay. So how does um, well, I know you do paddling or rowing,
Mhm. Yes.
and you competed in rowing
Natural
recently.
bodybuilding.
Oh,
Mhm.
and the bodybuilding, yes, and the
Oh, yeah,
bodybuilding.
yeah. Did bodybuilding for natural bodybuilding for a few years too. And that competition, yeah, that competition just this past weekend, last weekend I should say, um, been working for, believe it, only a year and a half, and I, got my first year, got a few medals, and it was all silver and bronze. But this year, starting off this year, last week, at the Paddlers Open here in Maui, Kihei, Maui, at the club that I am with. It's the Kihei Canoe Club. Uh, for the race that I was in, we took a gold, my first gold um, for paddling. So that was a very special event for me. So the short but hard work is paying off.
Very good. And you talk about your family supporting you. How did they help you with your business, getting your business going?
Yes. My family, when I say my family, um, I have two kids, and they live over in Germany, Tina and Randy. They live in Germany. My ex-wife was a German national, and when the separation, I came back, and they stayed with their mom over in Germany. And it was a very, very uh, hard situation for me.
Hmm.
Um, I love my kids, and when I got separated from them and came back through the separation and trying to get them to come over, and things didn't work out, and they couldn't come over for years, and we finally got together. My whole focus, again, that inner journey was how can I become the best me? How can I get in contact or keep the contact with my kids? Um, and I honestly, I'm telling you, back in 98, 99, I almost gave up. I
Hmm.
couldn't get them. Things were happening. The ex wouldn't send them over. Um, There's a big, the court battles and all stuff going on, and I almost gave up. And my mom, um, I love my mom to death, and she has dementia, and it's very bad. She's in the last stages of it right now.
Hmm.
But one thing that rang in my head for so many years and touched my heart and kept me driving on is my mom told me when I wanted to give up, she goes, never, never. She said, son, don't ever lose contact with him, no matter what. No matter what happens, do not lose contact with him. And I stuck to that. I wrote them, and as time progresses, we got into the internet and Skype and all this other kind of stuff. And I kept in contact with them. So my mom was a big pillar on me staying in contact with my kids. My kids were my rock.
Hmm.
Anytime I was in any sport, any schooling that I went to, they were in my heart and they kept me driving on. They're grown today. As a matter of fact, on the 22nd, they're going to be 28 years old, and both of them are twins, a boy and a girl.
Hmm.
And at that time when I lost them, I felt like I lost them. Now it's later on in life, and I've gone back. I went over to Germany and saw them uh, almost 2 years ago, and even met my ex-wife, who I hadn't seen in 20 something years, almost 30 years, and hadn't seen her. And let me tell you, it was an experience. And that family bond right there is what continually kept me going. My mom, my kids, my brothers and my sisters,
Hmm.
everybody has helped me out so much, tremendously. Um, so family is a very strong part of my life. Um, it's what really keeps me going all the time. I'm never lonely, but the times, we do get kind of is there people out there? Is there someone with me or someone for me? And I find all the time just that family part. My mom, my dad, my kids, my brothers, my sisters. That's what has always kept me going. I would never ever lose that. Um, it's a great thing. We have troubles in life. We have a lot of things that happen in our life, but that bond, the and family unit is the biggest hold I feel for anybody. Once you keep that family going, you can get through anything. And I
So
know some people may not have it, but when you really seep down in it, and it may not be a blood family or whatever, because I've
mhm.
had guardian parents. That bond is the strongest bond I feel of anything, besides what I truly believe in.
Okay. So let me ask you a couple of questions about um, when you did you find it difficult getting your business started? Um, what was the I guess what was the biggest challenge that you had at getting your business started?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that one. My biggest challenge was me, the fear of success. My biggest problem was um, getting out of the status quo, doing everything that everybody thought that Alton should do. That was my biggest problem. Because being that people pleaser, and a lot of times being a doormat, and it's pretty much, I'm a big guy. I'm, very strong. I've been into all kinds of stuff, fights, and I've been into martial arts, all this kind of stuff. But the thing is I find out that um, my self worth, that's what kept me back. Growing my business and building my business, I had to get over that fear of success. And another thing, a fear of failure. And I
Now
was
that
kind of
was
right in the middle there. I was right in the middle.
yeah, I was going
So,
to ask you about that. You said a fear of success, and most people look at it as a fear of failure.
yeah, yeah. When the fear of success, and this is why as a child growing up, Martin Luther King, um, looking at him, I look at the president, Lincoln, JFK. Me growing up, those are people that I looked at, and I saw them making a change in the world. And this is at a young age. I'm talking when I was like 6, 7 years old. You know,
Hmm.
I looked at this and I'm going like, these guys are getting up there and they're helping people and they're speaking from their heart. They want the best for humanity, but they got killed when they got there. Someone shot them. Someone took them out. So I always thought in my head, why would I want to be famous? Why would I want to be up there, working for all these people? Because they're going to take me out. I'm trying to give out the good word, but they're going to be taken out.
Hmm.
That was my fear of success.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's where I had the fear of success. That was my
Okay.
biggest thing because I had that little trigger in my head that if you get big, if you get out there and you get the word out, someone's going to want to take you out because they don't want the truth out there. That was my fear of success.
I gotcha. I
What
gotcha.
got me over that, what really got me over that and geared into my heart again was that it's not all about me having that fear of someone taking me out. It's about me being strong within my heart, me being strong and being successful, being happy, and being able to radiate that energy out. And whatever happens after that, I don't have to worry about because the word, the message, whatever is going to get out there will be out there. And it's out there for me, from what I know, it's out there for eternity. So that was my hardest part. And it took years. Sometimes I was in my late 30s, almost 40, early 40s
Hmm.
when I started to
Okay.
kick in.
Okay. Yeah, because you talk about you're still going. That's still a journey for you. You're still progressing
Yes,
within yourself. What do you where do you have you picked for yourself some place that you would like to be, personally or professionally?
yes. I'm right now. This is the beauty of it. I am not rich by no means. I'm 56 years old. Not proud of this, but I'm understanding it a lot more now. I've lived in poverty all my life.
Hmm.
Not making much money at all. So I've lived in poverty pretty much all of my life. But I've been to places people have never been. I've been to Germany. I've been to Italy. I've been to almost all the 50 states. I've been to war. I've been, in the military. So I've seen a lot, but I've lived in poverty, and that stems from poverty thinking. It's from what has been drilled at me for years and years and years from watching the TV. Every time I saw on the TV, everything that I saw about a black man or somebody of another color, you know, every time I see them on TV, they're in jail, they're beating someone up, they're shooting somebody, they're killing somebody. So I resonated with that because they had the same color skin with me and they were in the same position. So I kept on seeing that and I'm like, I don't want to go to jail. I don't, that's not me. So it was a huge battle. So I had to learn that the programming that was put on me through the TVs, through the media, through everything else, all that program that was put out there, I had to learn how to retrain my brain. And that's how I work my business. I train my people that I work with, train them to train their own brain, to take out those negative things that they've been taught and
Hmm.
they've been given for years and years and years, to take those things out because it's like having a CD and that CD is etched, with all these thoughts and things coming from mom, the clergy, from the churches, from the schools, all these thoughts, which are really not mine, they're thoughts from other people. Taking all those thoughts, being aware of them, I become aware of them first. Then I let them go, but the difference is what I've learned to do, I have to replace them. I have to replace those thoughts.
Hmm.
I have to replace them with something that is positive. And a lot of people have asked me this. My clients will always say, well, I can't think of anything. I say, one thing that we all have. Everything has this. It has an opposite. So if you have a little bit of difficulty in finding out how can I switch this negative thought, you just flip it. Everything has an opposite. And
Okay.
then you just keep that little snowball going. You keep on looking at things that are more positive. It could be a baby, it could be my dog, it could be the cat, it could be the birds, it could be nature. I
Okay.
keep on that road going. And that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me in tune. That's what I look at as my spiritual essence.
Okay. So now on your website, I noticed that you have some products for sale.
hmm Yeah, I do uh, sell yoga.
Hmm.
Also sell a lot of crystals and jewelry. My girlfriend, she makes jewelry, and I went with her and um, showed her how crystals, because she used a lot of other things to wrap and weave for pendants and necklaces and earrings and so forth.
Okay.
We started using natural crystals, natural stones. I also do online training, yoga, and also, I'm an Amazon affiliate. So anything doing with the holistic living,
Hmm.
that's what I like to give out to people.
Now,
Anything natural.
do you include diet in that?
Yes, yes, I do.
Okay.
It's not. I like to call it meal planning
Meal planning.
because the one word that's in diet is die. And the
Okay.
one thing about a diet is, and people don't really look at this, is that it is a huge market. I'll give you a real quick example here. What happens is when somebody's out there looking to get fit, they're looking just to be healthy. There's such a confusion out there, such a huge confusion on what should I eat? How much should I eat? Where should I go? How many times should I eat? It's so much confusion that people just give up. And literally, it's simple. So it's a meal plan. I tell people you have to meal plan. You have to set up your meals. And you set up those meals. That's what I set up for people. It's a meal plan to their specification. Not everybody likes to eat the same things. But the bottom line is you got proteins, you have fats, and you have carbohydrates. And there's a certain amount of those that you want to put in your body, and you want to have them all. Because the business is that's out there, and it's very simple, is that in order to make, for me to make you make money, for me to make money, I got to keep you confused. So what I'm going to do with this diet is I'm going to pull one of those ingredients out, or I'm going to lessen it. I'm going to take it down. Because when I take one of those fats, carbohydrates, or proteins, I take them down, the body, yes, it will automatically start losing weight. It's being deprived. But what happens with most people is they do it for a while, they get into those habits and all that, they do it for a while, and maybe that carb that they were diminishing so low, all of a sudden they get a taste of it again, and the body just craves it, and it goes crazy on it. So all that weight comes back. So then you're up in this yo-yo, up and down, and
Hmm.
you're switching diets. You have no idea how many people I talk to and how many diets they've been through. So a diet isn't the key. It's that you meal plan. And the easiest way is simply eat natural. The closer that food is to being natural, the more healthy it is for you. All the preservatives and all that stuff in the stores and the food that we eat, the body is literally fighting it. Your body is literally fighting the food that you're putting into the body, and then sends it to the liver, the carbohydrates and overload. It spins it, sends it to the liver, and stores it as fat. And that's why in America today, especially in America, we have an obese level that is off the charts. It's because of what is being pumped out just for money. What's being pumped out into people's face? Just eat this, eat this, eat this. And it's not even food. So that meal planning is the key.
Gotcha. Okay. So I want to thank you. That pretty much wraps up the time. Um, I'm going to give you an opportunity to give everybody your email or your web address.
www.spiritualfitness.biz. You can get me on my Facebook, Alton Sanders, Instagram, YouTube. Just go in there, you'll find me. Alton Sanders.
Okay.
www.spiritualfitness.biz.
And you do work with people on an individual level.
Yes. Online or personally. Yes.
Excellent. I want to thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. It has been a great time having a chance to talk to you. If I could get you to hold on for a moment, if I can
Okay.
get, okay, if I can get you to hold on for a moment, I'm going to close the show and then we'll talk a little bit and I'll let you go.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Well, that wraps up everything for today, folks. I want to thank you very much for joining me. You remember that you can replay this video podcast here on YouTube. The audio podcast is available on Stitcher.com, Podcast.com, available in the iTunes Store and the Google Music Play Store. The internet is powered by your likes, shares, and comments, so please like and share and comment on this episode wherever you find it, because it does matter. As always, be cool, be calm, but above all, be careful and look out for the other guy, because they may not be looking out for you.
You there?